Hey everyone, I am back with another overview video. I do apologize for the absence. I do want to let you guys know I did put out a update video about 2 weeks ago, so I hope you guys will tune into that when you get the chance. But today I wanted to take a look at something I probably never showed off that isn't part of an update, and that's probably the oldest video cassettes I have from Disney. This is mostly in part because of recently we have gotten an announcement for well, one, the Disney Movie Club is sadly going to be closing down in May, which sucks. And secondly, Disney is going to be working together with Sony, where Sony will distribute their movies now after over 40 years in the home media market and pretty much building it to what we know of today. It kind of sucks. It really, really sucks. So I thought, why not we take a look at some of the movies I have that I consider the oldest VHSs in my collection from Disney. Now, in my case, I see the oldest cassettes are in between the years 1980 to 1986, 1987 tops. But we're gonna try to go in order as best as I can. Now, the movies I do own are technically reprints, though. Well, it's kind of hard to explain, but I'll explain once we continue. Let's begin. Now, the oldest cassette in my collection is this one, "The Island at the Top of the World." Um, This was a film released in 1974, if I do recall. I mostly know it because the short, well, the film was also, how do I say this? Excuse me. The short was accompanied by, I just can't talk today, do I? The movie was accompanied by the short Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2, which of course got nominated for an Oscar. I don't think a lot of people even talk about this movie, if I do recall, but this was basically how a Walt Disney home video VHS cassette will look like. It looks pretty basic, as you may see. On the top, you see there's Sorcerer Mickey there, holding the, of course, next to the Walt Disney Home Video logo. I'm not gonna lie, seeing how Walt Disney Home Video looks here, that does not look right at all. I'm so used to Walt Disney being together, not on top of each other. That's just strange. But then on the bottom, you would see the logo of the movie in a screenshot. Maybe they'll show maybe won 5 Academy Awards, and in this case, it starts David Harmon. Pretty basic side. And what's notable is that the artwork is non-removable; it's laminated in the case. It's, of course, cases like these can easily split down the spine. I know a lot of cases of this kind are badly damaged. I was just lucky on this one. Yeah, as you see on the back, it has a little description, a few credits on the running time, rating. Of course, on the bottom contains screenshots of the movie. Distributed by Walt Disney Telecommunications and non-theatrical company. And it says on the bottom, 1986. From the looks of it, at least it's from the numerals. And the cassette itself, as you may see, the labels are a lot bigger, as you would expect from a standard VHS tape. Going off of an example here, I don't want to toot my own whistle here in terms of an example. This is what a typical Disney cassette will look like. Well, in terms of their vertical labels, it's kind of the same, but as you may know, it's definitely oversized compared to, say, modern VHS label as we know today. Because by the time this came out, if you guys don't know, there was a war between two VHS formats, or video cassette formats. There's VHS, which of course won, and Betamax. So Disney would just reuse. They would just make one label that would be used for both VHS and Betamax cassettes. So that way you can save money. But at least it works. And in my case, it's in great shape. You're brand new if I don't know much. And the print date on mine is January 8th of 1986, and it's pretty much it, really. This is still probably one of my most oldest cassettes I own from what I've seen. This next one is definitely a later repressing. This here is a souvenir cassette, A Dream Called Walt Disney World. This was released back in around 1983, although as you may see, mine is a much later print. As you may see, it's in a plastic shell. As you would see, it's something like a 20th Century Fox release from the 90s. The original case got badly damaged, so I had to replace it, but I have plenty. Basically, it's a whole on narration of how Walt Disney World is such a cool place. Although I bet this is a probably dated release, considering how it is narrated. This was originally released actually from 1981 from the bottom there, but I believe the label is a later print. Yeah, mine. This one's a later print from 1987, March 31st, 1987. No, I believe the master is the exact same, if I do recall. Again, I'm probably wrong on that. The next one is another souvenir cassette. Walt Disney World Epcot Center. It's oh yeah, I should probably make note. These are also considered souvenir programs. I should have said that beforehand. This one was released in 1983. To coincide, I believe it released around the same time Epcot opened, and well, when this was originally released. Like I said, this is a later print. And I forgot how freaking plain this back cover looks. Like, Jesus Christ, it's only 21 minutes long too. Like, yeesh. I do like the blue and yellow corresponding colors, though. I'll give it credit. Mine also came with a business reply card, which is neat. This one is also a later print, but it still technically counts. Either way, these souvenir cassettes, you can find them all over YouTube, but these are really fun to watch, well, in a relaxing way. Of course, Walt Disney World and Disneyland are of course, nothing like it was back then, considering everything that's been going on within the company. Bob Chapek. But regardless, these are really neat. But let's continue on. Here we got Mary Poppins. This is the 1986 release or 85 release. This was released initially one of the first of 23 titles on videocassette that Disney released in 1980, though. Of course, this will be constantly re-released. In fact, this is the third print of the movie released. This was originally, this print was released as part of, I believe, the Making Your Dreams Come True promotion, alongside the second release in the Walt Disney Classics line, Pinocchio, where they would lower the cost of the cassettes at like $29.95 each. As you can see, the cover of this one is completely different compared to, say, the earlier looking cassettes. I like these ones a lot more. It definitely shows a lot more of the cover artwork. I mean, it still looks rather basic compared to a earlier release. Well, I mean, it still looks basic just as much, but it definitely has a lot more going on. And they only used this design for quite a while, up until like 1987, from what I've seen. Here's the cassette. Printed February 12th of 1986. This is also one of like 4 copies of Mary Poppins I own on VHS. And technically the 6th copy of the movie in general, because I have it on DVD and Blu-ray. So, and the final type of this cover, or the oldest type of covers I own of it, is this one, Babes in Toyland. I never really knew much of this movie. I do know Ward Kimball worked on it. Ward Kimball is one of Walt's 9 old men, where he worked on the screenplay. Of course, Ed Wynn stars in the movie, as you may see right here, legendary actor. In fact, I believe Mary Poppins was his last role in a feature film. Here's the other cassette. From how stiff this cover is, this is almost practically brand new. Printed March 20th of 1986. Is this still a decent... I would love to see the movie when I get the chance. I'm just busy with my time at the moment. But of course, it can't leave out the classics editions, right? I mean, of course. Here we have Alice in Wonderland. As you may see, this is in a 90s cassette or 90s style package. The original cassette, of course, aged, so I had to go and put in a new cassette. But the artwork in the tape is the original from 1986. Um, this was originally released earlier in the year, but this is the later release again from I believe October of 1986. Um, to coincide with the original release of Sleeping Beauty. It was a pretty big event for the time. I mean, Sleeping Beauty sold 1,000,000 copies when it premiered. And speaking of Sleeping Beauty, here it is. Again, it sold 1,000,000 copies. It was the first of its kind on VHS to sell that well. Sleeping Beauty in this case, as you may know, the movie was originally created in CinemaScope. 2.55 out of 1. Of course, this is pan and scan, and of course, it looks weird. But this is probably the oldest. This, along with Alice in Wonderland, the oldest of the classics line I've owned. Of course, the first 4 releases on the cassettes. Let's see, there was Robin Hood, Pinocchio, Dumbo, Sword in the Stone, and of course the slipcover initial release of Alice in Wonderland. Those are the oldest ones. I would love to get Robin Hood if I could, but for now, I'm glad of what I have here. Here's the cassette itself, printed November 1st of 1986. And of course, by this time, Disney was still releasing these movies not on just VHS, but of course Laserdisc and Betamax. So, interesting enough. And probably the latest in terms of these early releases are the 2 slipcovers I have. Firstly, it's this one, The Absent-Minded Professor. This is the colorized version, released in 1986. This was around the time that was colorization projects on VHS began. I know Mighty Joe Young had one, Casablanca. In fact, Ted Turner was a real go-getter for that type of releases. Colorizing the movies. This movie looks really sad. I don't know if it's just the picture quality or how old the set is, but the colorization on here looks really sad. I mean, the movie's good. I mean, it's Absent-Minded Professor. It's still really fun, but it's just this movie was not made for color. It was originally released in black and white. One of only a few Walt Disney movies to be released in black and white. Well, at least as far as I'm aware. But yeah, for this one in particular, this was released alongside the initial release of Alice in Wonderland, as I said. Mine is printed June 11th of 1986. My copy have seen some days, as you may see from the rails, but it still works fine as well besides the colorization. But oh well. If I ever get a chance to get a new copy, I'll see if I can. And probably the latest of mine I own, Flight of the Navigator. This is the initial release, I believe, also for 1986. This was, how do I say this? This was one movie I wanted to watch, though I still don't kind of get it. It's not bad of a movie. In fact, it's kind of good, but I haven't seen it much since I bought it. I have this and the DVD release from 2004. As you can see, the layout looks a lot more like a typical Disney VHS release. I do like how it's packaged, though. I love the blue. It definitely looks nice. I don't know. I gotta get a chance to rewatch this one, but here's the cassette. Mine does not contain a print date, sadly, but from the looks of it, it seems to be the original release. And there you have it. These are the oldest video cassettes from Disney that I own. Now, as for the oldest, I can't really say. Well, I could say, but for oldest Jesus Christ. The oldest VHS tapes I own, it's a kind of a tie between the original release of Purple Rain, The Island of the Red Hot Lovers from Paramount, I also own that one movie with the guy who starred in Willy Wonka. I forgot the name of it. I forgot. It was one of the only magnetic tapes I own, magnetic videotapes. I forgot what it's called though. But I own the original release of American Tail. I had quite a few old ones. I would definitely agree. But these are probably some of the oldest ones I probably even known for. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next update or other overview. Until then, hope you guys enjoy the rest of the month. Spring should be coming early, at least from what we've seen.